Hey guys, what is up? Lefty back here again, and thanks for checking out the video. So today, real quickly, I just want to give a quick little update on the CZ-P10C. Normally, I wouldn't really do this, but in the times that we're living in and the fact that ammo is damn near impossible to obtain, and when you do obtain it, you have to put a second mortgage on your house and stuff like that. So, as I said, normally I wouldn't make these kind of update videos, but I thought, why not, given the circumstances and stuff like that. I'm sure some people are, kind of curious on how it went and my thoughts and my opinions. And also, I do want to touch on a little bit of a piece that people were leaving in the comments and stuff like that. So anyway, a while ago, probably like a couple weeks, got a chance to go up and shoot this thing at a friend's cabin with some land up north. Unfortunately, the bugs were terrible. I wanted to go early in the morning, but we ended up getting out there sometime around noon, and the bugs were just terrible. We got through a couple boxes, both rifle and pistol. We had to shoot very fast and stuff like that and just get the fuck out of there because it was just not a fun experience and stuff like that. But we did get some time on the CZ, and my kind of opinions really haven't changed all that much. It felt really, really good in the hand. The trigger is really, really good. It has a little bit less muzzle flip than I was expecting from it, considering that it's not much higher than a Glock in terms of the height over bore, but it is significant to the point where I thought it was going to be noticeable. It wasn't at all. And I honestly felt like it shot a little bit flatter. And I don't know if that's just because of the amount of real estate you have on the frame there in order to get a really good grip on it and stuff, but it felt really, really good to shoot. One issue that I did notice is the fact that the grip is a lot skinnier than what I'm used to shooting a big, fat, chunky Glock. So what I've noticed is when I put my finger on the trigger, and now the trigger is obviously all the way back. When I put my finger on the trigger from press to actually disengaging the sear and actually sending the striker forward, basically just pulling the trigger. I don't know why it had to be so complicated. I noticed that I have a little bit more finger on it, if that makes any sense. And what I was noticing, and I was very easily pulling shots to the right, basically just pushing it just because I can get so much finger on it now. So what I had to do was actually just kind of swivel it in my grip a little bit to kind of mimic kind of the lower amount of finger I was actually be able to get on it like a Glock would. And I was putting a little bit more accurate shots on target. But yeah, I was easily pressing those shots to the right. They were still a very good group, but it was just being pressed to the right. It wasn't a low right. I was just straight up pressing them to the right, which is just weird to me. But, new gun, new trigger. After shooting Glocks for years and years and years, and finally going to a different gun with a little bit different trigger, a little bit different grip angle, stuff like that. A little bit of a learning curve, I suppose. But yeah, otherwise, no malfunctions. I didn't really expect any, especially within the couple hundred rounds or whatever we shot through it. But yeah, my dad was there as well. I actually showed him this gun. He's like, I don't know if I like it or not, because he's kind of a pussy, this little thing over there. He said this grip texture kind of hurt his hand, although when he actually did put hands on and actually started shooting it, he actually thought it felt good. He also shot the Shield, M&P Shield. He did not like that gun at all, so that's kind of a funny thing. Whatever. So we got a couple hundred rounds through it or something like that, and pretty good shooting experience. Now, what I want to quickly touch on, because people were leaving in the comments and stuff on the initial thing, when I was saying something with the magazine, how it has that double click, and also the fact that the slide release was significantly harder and stuff like that. Well, one, and I said that in the video that I've tried it with a full mag, and then it does make the slide release significantly easier. I was just perplexed why that always is, besides with Glock. Glock is always a consistent amount of pressure in order to drop the slide. And that's basically all I wanted to get through on that point. But people wanted to bitch about it in the comments and stuff like that. And then people were also saying the gun auto forwards on a full mag, and it does. And actually it will auto forward up until you remove 3 rounds. So up around 12, 13 rounds in a fully loaded or in a 15 round mag, it will auto forward if you give enough ass into it. Now, people may like auto forwarding. I have videos on the M&P about auto forwarding and stuff in order to make it auto forward. I personally don't really give a shit, and I don't really seek out that as a feature, if you want to consider it as such. I actually think it's kind of a nuisance, because if I, whatever context you want to put this in, if I put my magazine in and the gun goes forward, especially under duress and under speed, did I throw that thing? Because usually when I reload a gun with an AMB slide release, I like to ride my thumb on it, and then when I press in, the thumb will automatically slip down and send the slide home and load the gun very quickly, right? So it's, but with the thing auto forwards, I don't know if I accidentally jerked the slide release, sending the slide home on an empty chamber, and then inserting the mag shortly thereafter, or did it actually work as intended and actually went forward by auto forwarding? I don't know. All I'm saying is I don't really look for those as a feature. And honestly, I think it's a big hindrance, especially if you train a certain way. Now, if they made the gun auto forward when you put in an empty magazine, and by putting in a magazine at all, trip some type of sear that sent the gun forward every single time, regardless if there was rounds in the magazine, then we can talk about using the auto forward as a significant feature or a legitimate feature to how you handle guns and stuff like that. So that being said, I don't give a shit if the gun auto forwards, and honestly, if it does, it's kind of a pain in the ass. But that is pretty much it. I don't like the sights. They're very hard for me to pick up. I don't have the greatest eyes, as you can probably tell, but you know, besides the sights and just kind of getting used to the trigger and how much closer I am to the actual trigger shoe on the grip, that's pretty much it. I have very little doubt that the thing will go for thousands of rounds with very little to no malfunctions. So other than what I said, pretty good gun. Excited to put more rounds through it when I can afford to and when they're actually available. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Be good.